The resource we made in Lesson 4 is a great teaching tool for a whole class session, but there is no interactivity that would include student engagement at the interactive whiteboard or even on a computer. In this lesson, we're going to add some new lines of code that will allow a student to go to the interactive whiteboard and enter their solution via a keyboard, either from the computer or on screen, and the program will immediately give feedback as to whether it is correct or not, like this. "21 is not correct," but you can easily change it, put in the right answer. We are going to use the coding we built previously, with the first 5 terms of the sequence shown and the pupils having to find the last 2 terms of the sequence. But we're going to make a few alterations before we begin. We don't need these 2 lines of code because we don't want to hide the fields. And as S5 and S6 are the fields where the students are going to enter their solutions, we don't want to define them. Let's copy and paste that into the button. Okay, that is now randomizing the first 5 terms, and the last 2 fields at the end are empty. Let's now add some ticks from the library of fields with icons and rename them tick.1 and tick.2. Next, we're going to add in an extra line of code at the start of the randomizer button that resets all the fields, particularly in our case, deleting any numbers we previously entered in the last 2 terms of the sequence. I'm going to take this from the library of code and its reset form, and the only thing that we need to change, or you ever need to change, is the name of the field. This code will in fact reset all the fields. Let's say we put a number in here. When we click the randomizer button, it disappears. We are now ready to create the coding that will make the ticks appear if the correct answer is entered. However, we need to put in a code at the very beginning to hide the ticks. Let's copy and paste this over. And the ticks disappear, and the last 2 fields are clear as well. We're going to create the coding by constructing what are called conditional statements. And to start off explaining conditional statements, let's begin with an overview. If you look at this, it says, if this statement in the bracket is true, do this. Otherwise, do something different. Let's take this initial statement and take it through an interim step before we go to the actual coding. And we can read it like this. If the answer entered into this field is correct, that is the previous term plus the difference, show a big green tick. Otherwise, if the answer is incorrect, do not show a big green tick. Now we come to the actual coding, and we're actually going to be putting this coding into the field S5. And this is important. The first line of code says if the event value equals. Now event value means the value in the field where the code is. Then we have a double equal sign. That means it's equal to S4 plus A. The next line says, then show tick number 1. Make it visible. Otherwise, don't make it visible. In other words, keep tick 1 hidden. And this is the code we're going to put into S5, but in a different place to where we usually put the code. This is where we normally put the code, but in this case we're going to put it in the Validate tab. Click on Run Custom Validation Script, then Edit, and we're going to copy and paste in the code. Close. Let's test that. Okay, randomize, and the next term in the sequence should be 18. We enter 18 and press Enter. Let's try again, see what happens when we put in the wrong answer. Should be 36. Let's put in 31, press Enter, and nothing shows. For S6, we're going to write the code slightly differently. And this time we're going to write, if the event value equals the value in S4 plus 2 times the difference, then display tick 2, otherwise don't. Why have I done it this way? I could have written it like this. But if nothing or the wrong answer was put into S5, then S6 could not correctly verify the answer. Let's put our code in. Let's first of all check that the ticks appear with the correct solution. And let's check that they don't appear with the wrong solution. This now works. You now have an alternative way of presenting sequences on an interactive whiteboard or computer.